Streaming worldwide at radioonfire.com/live. On Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Radio on Fire or DJ Diamond K. It's the Radio on Fire News Network. Now, let's get back to the show. Well, the inevitable has happened. The House voted the way that it was expected to, and we got history made. The third president impeached by the House of Representatives. You man Diamond K in here. The Diamond K Show, Radio on Fire. I mean, you know, this is supposed to be a solemn occasion, right? Following a day-long debate on whether or not Trump violated his oath by pressuring Ukraine to damage Joe Biden, his political opponent, Trump impeached on 2 articles. That's where we are. And while this is going on, of course, he is in another state talking smack. 2 articles he was impeached on. And what is that? First vote was 230 to 197, was to impeach him for abuse of power, pretty much across party lines. Followed quickly by the second 229 to 198 vote that Trump obstructed Congress. Now, why they chose to go with these articles and not more is beyond me. Why are the Democrats so weak is beyond me. When you look at what happened, right? When you look at the fact that, okay, Joe Biden's son got the gig that he got in Ukraine on the board because he was Joe Biden's son. That is clear and obvious, okay? That doesn't mean that Joe Biden did something wrong, right? Nepotism happens, okay? He got this job because of who he is, what his last name was, right? That's fine. That's true. I mean, it's wrong, right? But that's the son, the grown son, okay? And that needs to be addressed. But do we have evidence that Joe Biden got him the job? Strictly like pulled some strings and made it happen? No, we don't, right? What we do have is a child taking advantage of or benefiting from the last name that he has, okay? Without any type of skill in oil. He didn't have any experience in that field. They brought him on board because of what they thought was going to happen. Now, if we had evidence of Joe Biden doing some things, now, of course, my conservative friends, my Republican friends are going to say, all right, he bragged about stopping the investigation, okay? He bragged about getting someone off the case who was corrupt. Not Biden said he was corrupt only. There were other people that said it, right? Okay. But we don't have evidence of that. It was investigated and it was found that he didn't do anything. Joe Biden, to influence or didn't do anything while he was vice president to benefit the company that his son should have never been on board with in the first place, right? Okay. So that's the state of facts there. Now, why do I say that Democrats are weak? Democrats are weak because, look, they need to say this. We need to clean our house, right? Hunter Biden should not have been on that board. We need to address that. However, the president who's talking all of this corruption talk, right? He has a daughter. He has a son-in-law. He has another son who are benefiting from the Trump family name. There's no reason why Jared should be in charge of Middle East peace. Why is Jared in charge of Middle East peace? Because he's married to the president's daughter. That's why. Democrats need to talk about this. Why don't they ever say anything about this? They don't talk about this at all. Ivanka Trump doesn't have experience. She shouldn't be working in the White House. Why is she working in the White House? Because her last name is Trump. Democrats won't talk about it. Scared to mention it. Why? I don't know. Probably because they're weak. Too weak. Too weak. But as I said, third time in history. It's going to go down in the history websites. I don't want to say history books. What is that? Third time. House of Representatives, the lower house, because the Senate holds all the power. The House has voted to impeach a sitting president. And that president is Donald Trump. Now, did some Democrats want Trump impeached from day one? Yes. Did he give them fodder for said impeachment? Yes. Now, the fact that there are plenty of Republicans who wanted to impeach President Obama, he just didn't give you anything to impeach him for. Had President Obama given Republicans something to impeach him for, they would have done it. They would have done it. Now, Democrats have proved to be hypocritical in regards to things that they said about impeachment during the Clinton time. Republicans have proved to be hypocritical at things that they said during the Clinton time, when his time came for impeachment. The Democrats and Republicans reversed. Democrats were calling it a coup at that time. Now Republicans are calling it a coup. Democrats acting like during the Clinton, there was nothing to impeach him for. And I don't think that it was, right? He lied about an affair. Trump lied more times. PolitiFacts can't even count. The interns here can't even count how many times Trump has lied. So, anyway, I digress. Here we are. One vote difference between the 230 to 197 for abuse of power and the 229 to 198 for the obstruction of Congress. One vote difference, and that was Jared Golden of Maine, Democrat, who voted yes on abuse and no on obstruction of Congress, right? Now, here's something that, and I don't want to say is surprising to me, because she is someone who speaks Republican talking points. She's somebody who's cozy with foreigners, very much so. Democrat candidate for president, Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii, aloha. She voted present on both articles, okay? No Republicans voted against Trump. Why did she vote present? You know why she voted present. She's got something up her sleeve. I don't trust Tulsi Gabbard. I don't trust her. The trial in the GOP-controlled Senate is going to be something that starts early January, and that's going to be another partisan display. It is likely that he's going to be acquitted. 2/3 majority is required for conviction, and they don't have the votes to get him out of there. But this is something that's going to mark his record. It's like, you've been to a job where you get written up. This is like getting written up, right? You're not going to get fired, but they're going to put it on your file, right? Anyway, Trump, as I said, was in Battle Creek, Michigan. And, he's in full mode. He's doing his thing. Trump said this: "It really doesn't feel like we're being impeached," he told a cheering crowd. "The country is doing better than ever before. We did nothing wrong, and we have tremendous support in the Republican Party like we have never had before." And, of course, he ended it with his normal hyperbole. No one has ever had this kind of support, right? Yeah. If that's the case, the crybaby president, I mean, he's such the victim, but since nobody's had this kind of support, why are you always crying? He's always crying. Two Democrats, Jeff Van Drew of Jersey and Colin Peterson of Minnesota, voted with the Republicans against both articles. Van Drew is going to be switching to a Republican very soon. Before the vote, Pelosi took the floor to say that it was imperative that they impeach the president for the first time in 2 decades. She said that her former friend Donald Trump is an ongoing threat to our national security and the integrity of our elections. These two have been throwing shots back and forth like Eminem and Mariah Carey. I mean, was there something here before? Because it's kind of crazy the way that they go back and forth. But emotions ran high in the Capitol ahead of this historic vote. Now, of course, some people are going to say skeptics doesn't mean anything. He's still going to be in office, and that's true. But this is a political process. So the people who did not vote for this, you need to hold your representatives accountable. Senators who are going to go with this partisan vote, they need to be held accountable when the time comes for re-election, right? It may not necessarily directly affect Trump. It's not going to get him out of office. But some of these senators and some of these congressmen and women need to be held to task for this. Definitely need to be held to task. Far too long. This political game goes back and forth and back and forth. This is the most partisan impeachment in the history of the United States. Not one Republican voted for it in the Judiciary Committee. Not one Republican. That was Representative Debbie Lesko. This is no surprise. This is no surprise. But no one should be allowed to use the powers of the presidency to undermine American elections. Now, let's keep in mind, America has undermined other people's elections, right? Oh, wait, they don't want to talk about that. And nor should we. So those elections were undermined for good reasons if you let our people tell it. But we're going to continue more talk about the impeachment of Donald Trump in the House of Representatives after this. Wink and R. Kelly present a watch party for the playoff-bound Baltimore Ravens, the Browns versus the Ravens, this Sunday, December 22nd. Free admission, drinks and food specials all day long. D. Savannah's Cafe and Lounge, formerly the Belmont, okay? Security Boulevard area, right? You know the areas, right? Off of Security Boulevard. Anyway, to reserve a table, contact R. Kelly, 443-509-7051, or Wink at 410-350-9371. Ravens are red hot right now. So back to this impeachment. Trump and his team are angry that this is happening, but they brought it on themselves. And the Senate is going to be a big mockery because they're not going to call witnesses is the way that it looks. But this has been a long time coming. As I said, Trump, the third president to be impeached by the House in this country's 243-year history. This is something that he can't shake. But knowing Trump, he's going to wear this like a badge of honor, as weird as that is. But I definitely welcome people's thoughts and comments, social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. I'd love to talk about this. I talk with people online all the time, conservatives, independents, Democrats. Everybody has a view on this stuff. So, of course, follow Radio on Fire. We are keeping our eyes and ears on the president, the election, the 2020 election, the most important election that I can mean in our lifetime. Also, some other headlines from radioonfire.com. Catherine Pugh, the former mayor of Baltimore, facing state charges in the Healthy Holly scandal. And when it rains, it pours. This former mayor of Baltimore, former a lot of things. She is really. She's really. I mean, I don't want to say she's getting what she deserves, but she did these things allegedly. But she's already facing federal prison time as a result of the plea deal in relationship to this Healthy Holly book scandal. Now she's facing state perjury charges. So the state prosecutor, Carlton Howard, announced today that his office has charged Pugh with perjury for her failure to disclose her business interests in Healthy Holly LLC in her financial disclosures when she was a state senator. Now, here's something that I want Trump to pay attention to. They're going back and checking out her documents from when she was a state senator. That's going back a few years, okay? She's out of office. She's not a senator. She's not a mayor, and they're going back. So I want you to understand that you can be charged for things when you're not in office anymore. Remember that. Pugh disclosed her business relationship to other companies that she owned and operated, but the charging documents filed in the Anne Arundel County Circuit Court alleged that she did not at any point disclose her interest in this Healthy Holly LLC, or specifically the $345,000 that she earned in book sales back in 2016. How did she think she was going to get away with that? How did she think she's going to get away with that? Clearly, the Pugh camp was blindsided by this, as her attorney, Steve Silverman, had no comment on the new filing. If they knew this was coming, you would think they would have had a comment on this. So it is very, very disgraceful what has happened here. The state prosecutor said this: transparency from our elected officials is an essential aspect of protecting Maryland residents from corruption and political malfeasance. Our office is committed to ensuring that those who abuse positions of trust in our state and local governments are held accountable by the state of Maryland. This does not look good for the former mayor. And I think that they're going to make a clear example out of her. You want to talk about holding somebody accountable. They're going to hold Catherine Pugh accountable for these, as he said, malfeasance. Also, we spoke about it. I told you, but I still was surprised. Takashi 6ix9ine, here's what I told you. He ain't coming home on Wednesday. He's not coming home, not on Wednesday. All right? Takashi 6ix9ine sentenced to 2 years with 5 years probation. So the controversial rapper was in court today, and people that expected him to be released, the judge said this himself to Takashi 6ix9ine, aka Mr. Hernandez: if you expected to be released today, you will be disappointed, the judge said. But you were wise to cooperate. Your cooperation will result in years more liberty, more years of liberty. One thing about this ruling today and some of the words that came out of the mouth of the judge was, this was like a commercial for cooperation. He talked about it. This is the judge. Listen to this judge saying this: your cooperation was courageous. The danger to you is multiplied by your music career. I understand that you intend to continue The fact that you are unusually recognizable does not help you. And that's true. Of course, he's talking about all of the ink that Takashi 69 has. Judge saying, of course, you're somebody who's going to be able to be easily recognized when you get out. Okay. You're world famous for cooperating. This is also the judge. No gang will want to work with you. Everything I've seen suggests to me that this has been a searing experience for you. You have squandered 13 months so far. The judge had a lot to say, and luckily, via Inner City Press, we were able to get a lot of what the judge had to say. The judge also said this: I do not expect you to be tempted to commit violence again. If you do, I am the judge in your case and your economic self-interest. You have struck a lucrative deal. The situation is unusual. You are very fortunate. You will land on your feet. So the judge was he harsh at times, but still like nice and I'm doing this for your own good kind of way. Also, the end, the judge said, Mr. Hernandez, please rise. It is a judgment of the court. You will serve a term of 24 months in prison with 5 years supervised release. So 24 years in prison. 24 months in prison. 24 months in prison. And he's already done 13. So he's not looking at that long. I mean, compared to the 40-some years, 20-some years, 10 years, he could have got all this. The sentencing could have been much worse. Sentencing could have been much worse. But he lucked up, as the judge said. He lucked up. Welcome back. Diamond K, RadioOnFire.com. It's really saddens me. Jussie Smollett talked about him some 10 months ago and subsequently. But a 16-year-old, Carol Sanchez, confessing to staging kidnapping. I couldn't help but think of Jussie Smollett. And this 16-year-old confessed to staging. This is something that invoked an Amber Alert. What was she thinking? Authorities have not filed charges against her yet. They're coming. They're currently searching for Sanchez's 4 male accomplices. So there's this video. The video looked kind of shady. It did. 2 guys grab her, this whole thing. But definitely charges need to be filed against all 5 of them, whoever's involved, all of them. Because issues like this makes it bad for real people who are really kidnapped. This makes me think years ago about Tawana Brawley. You know, some girl doing some dirt, and then when you get caught, you want to say, you know, you got raped. Now, this is not the same story. They're trying to get money. What was the motivation here? What is going on? Where kids are playing these kind of games. This is nothing to play about. This is what we have going on. So yes, charges need to be filed. Charges definitely need to be filed, and she needs to be held accountable. We talked about holding Catherine Pugh accountable. This little girl, 16-year-old Carol Sanchez, needs to be held accountable. Of course, your support, Radio on Fire machine. We're going to be making a big announcement on Christmas Day about the future of Radio on Fire. And as I said, it's going to happen on Christmas Day. So last story before we get out of here. R. Kelly responding to the allegations that he purchased a fake ID for an underage Aaliyah. R. Kelly has pled not guilty in the Brooklyn indictment in which he's accused of paying a public official to provide a fake ID for Aaliyah. This was something that was rumored. We didn't know where this birth certificate came from and the fake stuff. but Vibe magazine posted stuff years ago. Now, this bribery charge stems from R. Kelly's illegal marriage to the late singer Aaliyah back in 1994. Of course, she was famously underage. Age ain't nothing but a number. Remember that song? Prosecutors claim that R. Kelly purchased a fraudulent card one day before his and Aaliyah's wedding ceremony took place. He used the IDs, which listed her age as 18, to get the marriage certificate. And that's what it was. They posted the marriage certificate. But per the legal documents, on or about August 30th, 1994, within the District of Illinois, the defendant, Robert Sylvester Kelly, together with others, did knowingly and intentionally cause another individual to promise and tender to a public officer and public employee property, to wit, United States currency, that such public officer and the public employee was not authorized by law to accept. This is legal mumbo jumbo, but of course, R. Kelly denied the robbery allegations during a hearing in the Eastern District of New York. He appeared in court via video stream because he's back in Chicago. I wonder if he wanted to say, I couldn't have done this because I can't read, right? Say some foolishness like that. So when you want to talk about bringing up some old charges, these are old charges. R. Kelly has so many charges right now. It's just one of those things. It's just like every other month they find a new old charge to hit him with. At what point is it going to be over with? R. Kelly is someone who's in jail. He is not coming home anytime soon. Disgraced singer. When I'm at parties, I don't even want to play his music. Honestly, I don't. But I don't know. I have not been able to bring myself to play any of his songs. But maybe I will. Maybe I will. I mean, when Lil Wayne was locked up, we played Lil Wayne stuff, but of course they're locked up for different things. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Should I still play R. Kelly's music at parties? I don't know. We're going to be back here 6 p.m. Daily. New time for the Diamond K Show, 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. And as I said, we'll be back here tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, tuning in, and all that good stuff. Hit the subscribe button however you are hearing or watching this broadcast, and I will see you guys next time.